Hi everybody, all my followers, be welcome to another video. So, the video today is on a 2007 Mini Cooper with well, that's the thing on the engine. Let me take you through the complaint first. The complaint is that the engine vibrates or shakes like if it's misfiring. Indeed, when I started the car cold this morning to move it from my entrance to here, it idled, but really poorly. It was like really vibrating, like sort of misfiring. But then as the engine warmed up, it kind of settles down, and it was running okay. I haven't test drive the car, so I don't know if it does the same. If there's anything else when you drive, I'm gonna have to ring the owner and ask. Because right now, when the engine is warmed up, it runs, at least it looked okay to me. I will start the car and I will show you. Now, what's been done on this car, that's why I haven't told you the engine yet, is because originally this was the 1.4 petrol engine, and the engine was replaced with the 1.6. So obviously they haven't replaced the ECU, so the ECU is still trying to control a 1.4 when it's actually a 1.6. So I think I know how I'm going to approach this, but nevertheless, let's start the car and plug in the scanner, scan the car, and go from there really. So let's gonna start the car and I will show you. I don't know if it's gonna shake. By the way, there's no engine lights, no nothing. Just a service light. As you can see, I don't know if you can hear it, but it runs perfect. Let me open the bonnet and show you. Okay, and as you probably have seen, engine seems to be running absolutely perfect. So let's gonna do a scan on this and see what codes we have. And I'll take this opportunity to actually do a quick correction. It's not the Mini Cooper, this is the Mini 1. Right, there's no engine lights, so I don't know if there's gonna be any codes. So we have two issues here, and they are both history. Now, what I think is happening here, guys, and this is what I think, is that this ECU is from a 1.4. So all these make sense, yeah? Because this ECU is from a 1.4, so it's going to expect a certain amount of airflow and a certain amount of intake manifold pressure. Because it's a 1.6 now, all that is going to be slightly higher, and the ECU is going to see values that's not going to be expecting. So I think that's going to be my issue, is going to be the maps in the ECU. And I think the way to approach this, unfortunately, is going to have to be, well, I don't know if I can read this ECU through the OBD, but it's going to be, I'm going to have to flash the maps from a 1.6 ECU. I can't do that with ISTA because ISTA will automatically recognize this as 1.4 and is not going to allow me to program anything else. MaxiSys will do exactly the same. My only option would be start to change VIN numbers with a VIN number from a 1.4, from a 1.6, but I will risk to get a VIN number, or I'll have to copy a VIN number. That's it. So that's not really a good option. So my option at the moment is going to be try to flash this ECU. So I'm gonna have to find out which ECU is on this car, see if Kest can do it or any other tool through OBD. Otherwise, we'll have to get the ECU out, and go from there. So I believe this is my problem. Don't know if you guys agree with it. If this would be your first approach, for me, it's going to be because because obviously we know we have, let me start the engine, because we know we have the wrong maps on this car. So yeah, okay, so it doesn't really show me a lot. It doesn't show me like what's expected and what I'm actually measuring. I would have to connect Oyster for that, I guess. This doesn't really show me a lot. But yeah, guys, I think there's no point to waste too much time with trying to diagnose this. At least not without get the right maps in there first, because I think that's going to be my first issue. And I might be lucky with this one. So as I said earlier, and I correct my mistake at the start, this is actually the Mini One R56. So when you come down, as you look at the original engine, this is a manual transmission. So you have 1.4 automatic transmission. It's not automatic, it's manual. So you have two left. You have this one here, the second one is not going to be this one, because this is actually 2007. And here he tells me it's a 2009 and is the 17.2.2. But if you look then at the bottom one for the 1.4, that one there is also the 17.2.2. The protocols are the same anyway, the 206 for all the ECUs. So my engine fitted now most likely is going to have to be the second one here. Okay, because, well, it's going to have to be this one, because it's not automatic. This last one, it will be a 17.2.2, so it will be the wrong one. So it's going to have to be that one. So let's going to connect the battery maintainer first, and then we'll try to read this. Okay, the maintainer is now connected, and let's see if we can get this done. So 1007, will this be a key line? Oh, I guess it's going to be a CAN. Let's try to ID the ECU. Just going to switch the dash back on. And there we go. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So my Bosch number, my hardware number, the software, the upgrade software, the system type, and my VIN number, which everything matches. So let me take a picture of this, because I always keep pictures of these screens. Okay, so that's fine. Absolutely perfect. I'm gonna save this here as my guess ECU ID. Save that. That's done. Switch off the dashboard. Now we're going to read. Select that. Okay. Switch on the dash. Dash is on. Switch off the dash. So I'm having now next is going to start to read. I'm having 12.5, 12. So I'm happy with that voltage. Let me see when you turn the key on. If I need to go, I'm on the lowest speed. That's fine. That will be absolutely perfect. Press OK. 12.30. And he's reading. To be honest, I think I wouldn't even need the battery maintainer because it's a quite quick reading. But obviously you don't know. So each ECU is different unless you have experience. I think it's the first time I'm reading this ECU on this car with gas, so you don't know. But it's reading fine. Because it's only a couple minutes, you probably get away just with the battery. But as a recommendation, always put some sort of battery maintainer in there, or something that's going to keep your voltage. As you can see, we are quite stable as 12.5, fluctuating a little bit, but not too much. Okay, and the reading is completed. Let's gonna save this as, I'm gonna put, say, init 1.4. This is and this is a MEV 17.2. Bosch MEV 17.2. Let's kind of put hardware. Guys, skip the video if you don't want to be watching this. Hardware 0261 S04161. And I think that's it. It's all I need for now. All the other information is going to be then on this picture that I'll always save in the same folder. So let's gonna save this on my desktop. It should come into somewhere here. There it is. Switch off the dashboard, which I'm gonna do now. Dashboard is off. Press OK. OK. Okay, and now let's gonna try to start the car. Make sure it still starts okay. There we go, started, no problem. Everything good, sweet. So now let's gonna get hold of a file for the 1.6 and fingers crossed this is gonna work. Okay, and I have a file from a 1.6. This video is not about where you get files from. However, I will leave in the description below a couple sites where I usually take files from, and where I actually also upload files to help the community, etc. So I will leave description for two of them, which you might be aware of them, to be honest. In this case, this file was not there, so I had to go elsewhere to get the file. In this case was Ecutech that had an original file for this engine, so I will leave also in the description below a link into his website if you ever need anything from him. So yes, so I have an original file here, and let's gonna do it. So let's gonna write the file now. So it's gonna ask me where the file is. So it starts with R56. There we go. So that's my file. Let's open the file. Please connect the battery to your yes, it's connected. Okay, switch on the dash. Let's switch on the dash. Now let's press OK. I was going to ID the ECU again first. Hold on, off. Back on. There we go, you ID the ECU again, press OK, proceed to write OK. Yeah, that's fine. Dashboard off. Yeah, no problem. This is really quick. It was just a kind of a check. Okay, so now yes, he's writing the file. Job done. Ignition came back on. Now he's asked me to switch off the dash, which we will do. Press OK. OK. Job done. So now let's try to start the engine again. Make sure it starts. And off you go. Engine started. Just fine. And it's just me, or there is a different sound. Might be just me. But earlier, when in the morning I've started the car, obviously when I started the car here second time, the car actually started and ran fine in the morning. Obviously the RPMs are now coming down. When he did the cold start right there at the top, there we go, it's coming down now. So the RPMs started above 1,000. That's when I seen all that shaking as well, etc. But yeah, we flashed the ECU just fine with the 1.6. So now let's kind of plug the machine back in and see what we have. Okay, and we're going to do a quick scan now, obviously because I flashed a new file. I didn't want to do this. Because I flashed a new file, most likely I will have no faults. There we go, so no faults. So, well, I hope this was it, but it's difficult to say. I mean, my airflow, it doesn't really show you a lot. That was 7 before, you remember that? It's now 5. So I think I'm gonna leave the engine to completely cool down. And I'm gonna leave the engine to completely cool down and then start it again in a couple of hours. See what we have, see how he starts, how he behaves, and then we'll go for a drive. I rang the guy in the meantime and he said it was only that shaking when the car was cold. Not cold, when the car was idling. He never mentioned it was cold. I've actually asked and he said sometimes if you leave the engine idling like this, every now and then the engine will start to shake and sort of like misfiring. Driving, he said, was fine. However, he said it looked like the car was underpowered, so which also makes sense, obviously, with the maps from a 1.4 on a 1.6. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the engine to cool down, then test it and go from there. I might try to go on a test drive as well with the car, see how it runs. But yeah, looks like this was my only problem. Okay, so today is Tuesday. The last clip you have seen was recorded on Saturday. So the car didn't run for over 2 days. So we're going to do a proper cold start. Just had some mail that I had to sign for. So let's going to do a proper cold start. As I said, the engine didn't run for over 2 days. Now, on Saturday still, I've had the engine here running, idling, for well over an hour. And I've stayed inside the car the whole time. And I haven't seen no missings, no jerking, no shaking. The engine ran absolutely fine. So we're going to do the cold start, see what happened. And then we'll go for a road test, I guess, just to make sure everything's good. So let's gonna start the engine and see what happens. Okay, started absolutely fine. Holding the revs above 1000 RPMs as it does when cold. So, as I said earlier in the video, I've never seen the car doing anything while idling. I've seen the shaking when doing this cold start, as I've said. I've seen it, I've experienced that, so we'll see what it does now. I haven't drove the car before, so the guy said it was a little bit like underpowered, sort of. So we'll see how it drives, but the cold start so good, so far so good. But what I want to see is when it starts to drop the revs. I'm gonna leave the engine running. I'm gonna carry on recording so you can also see. It shouldn't take much longer to start to drop the revs. There we go. No, not yet. No, it's coming down now. Let's see if he holds the revs without. Perfect. Look at that. You might not be able to hear the engine, guys, but I can hear the engine. Absolutely perfect. Perfect. Nothing wrong with it. So I'm really happy with the way the cool down, cold start went. Started fine, no missings, dropped down the revs, and he held the revs absolutely perfect. So I think it's time to go for a test drive. As I said, idling for a long period of time. I already tested it on Saturday and it idles absolutely fine. The only thing left now is a road test. Okay, another thing that I wanted to show you. So the car's been now here idling for about less than 5 minutes, probably. I would say you might be able to watch from the clock. But yeah, just while I was moving the cars out, so I can go out. And I just want to show you that another thing that, just to show you that holds the revs okay, is I'm gonna rev the engine and then let it come down to idle, and you're gonna see that it just holds the revs fine. There we go. It holds the revs absolutely perfect. Nothing wrong with it. So let's go out for a drive and see how the car actually behaves. Yeah, it's been raining quite badly. So just came for a drive. Car is driving absolutely perfect, no issues at all. Holding revs absolutely fine when you come to a stop, etc. It's driving perfect, really. Nothing to say about. Oh, it just needs fuel now. But yeah, car is driving absolutely fine, so I can't see nothing wrong. Pulls fine for a 1.6. Can't see nothing wrong, really. So I think I'm just gonna stop there. Hold on a second. Whoop. So as you've seen, just came to a stop. Holds revs absolutely fine. I haven't seen nothing wrong with the car. It's driving fine to me. So I think we got it fixed. So in the end, all it was the wrong maps on this car. So that's it. What else to say? Hope that in this video I've showed you something that might be useful. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you do have any questions, any comments, please put them below. And like always, thanks for watching.